On the same night, Klay Thompson erupted for 52 points in a blowout win over the Kings. James Harden also had a 33-point night and hit a clutch jumper to win the game for the Houston Rockets in walk-off fashion. And with that said, there's a debate that I see had often about who's the better shooting guard between the two, James Harden or Klay Thompson. I feel this is the perfect time to address it because it's obvious these are the two best shooting guards in the league right now. I don't think anyone will argue that, but I'll tell you which is better and why next. Welcome back to the Best Damn Sports Blog. Back again to talk NBA with you guys, specifically Klay Thompson and the onslaught of points he put on the Kings, dropping 52 points in a blowout win. But this wasn't just some any old 52-point performance that was a great night. This was a historic 52-point performance from Klay Thompson. In the third quarter, he set an NBA record for the most points by a single player in one quarter, scoring 37 points. I would bet money the Sixers haven't even scored 37 points as a team. But Klay Thompson alone had 37 points in the third quarter, setting an NBA record. He went 9 of 9 from three-point range. 13 of 13 from the field in the quarter, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. A flawless quarter, dropping 37 points. That is unheard of. 37 points on 13 shots. And in the game of his 52 points, it only took him 25 shots and 16 made field goals. Tremendous game from Klay Thompson, and he has cemented himself as the best two-way player in the game since Paul George is going down to injury. Klay Thompson is now stepped up, and he is the best two-way player in the game. I know Jimmy Butler was making a run for it at the beginning, but he cannot produce at this level Klay Thompson is. And Jimmy Butler, as great as a defender he is, he will never be the shooter that Klay Thompson is. And Klay Thompson is probably just as good off the dribble as Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler's a little more athletic. And Kawhi, his offensive game is nowhere near Klay Thompson's level either. So when you break it down to best defense, best offense, Klay Thompson is the total package at the shooting guard position and in the whole sport in general. Klay Thompson, man, this guy, him and Steph Curry are amazing to watch. Golden State is the best team to watch in the NBA. They're blowing people out, and they're doing it quickly. I've seen them a lot, up by 15, 14 points at the half. So this has just been a great season all around for the Warriors. They only have 6 losses, the only team other than the Atlanta Hawks to still have single-digit amount of losses. And a great season for Klay Thompson, best two-way player in the game. And I say all of that, and I give him all this praise to say I cannot agree with the notion that Klay Thompson is a better shooting guard than James Harden, who also had a big night last night, dropping 33 points as well as hitting a game winner. It was a mean step back he hit P.J. Tucker with. He almost fell, and then he iced him with the jumper as time expired on the road in Phoenix. Great win over a good Phoenix team, and Dwight Howard went down to injury. And I just want to say, James Harden, he is an MVP candidate, and his name's not just in the MVP talks for no reason. He's actually improved his defense. Yes, Klay Thompson is a better defender. Yes, Klay Thompson is a better shooter than James Harden. But what James Harden does for the Houston Rockets, I'm not sure Klay Thompson could duplicate in the same role. James Harden can create off the dribble, get to the basket virtually at will. He shoots a lot of free throws, probably in top 5 in free throws attempted per game. James Harden also averages 27 points and almost 7 assists as well, so he also is a good distributor of the ball. Now, Klay isn't terrible at distributing the ball either, but James Harden, he averages 6.8 assists. Klay Thompson, he averages just 3.1 assists per game. So there's a big difference, and so James Harden is a playmaker. Klay Thompson is more of a set shooter who can somewhat create off the dribble. Let's just put it like this. Take James Harden off the Houston Rockets, plug in Klay Thompson for this whole season. Do you think the Houston Rockets would be 30-14 sitting in 4th place? Because I don't believe so. I believe if Klay Thompson was their starting shooting guard, they would struggle, especially when Dwight Howard would go down to injury, and they would play completely different. Klay Thompson is not the playmaker that James Harden is. He does not have the ball in his hands the same amount James Harden does. James Harden basically has the ball in his hands as much as you would expect a point guard to. Now, you plug James Harden into Golden State, I don't necessarily think that will work either. Him and Curry, two ball-dominant guards, I don't think that will work. But if you put Klay Thompson in Houston, especially when Dwight Howard is out to injury, I don't think you get the same dominant performances that you got from Harden that also helped carry Houston. They were 8-3 in games that Dwight has been absent. I'm not sure they have that same record with Klay Thompson. And there's some stats I would like for you all to hear. So far this season, Klay Thompson has a total of 4 games in which he has scored 30 or more points. That includes his 50-point barrage today and 2 other 40-point performances. James Harden, he has 4 40-point performances this season, and he has scored 30 or more points in 20 games this season. So that's a 16-game difference in which Harden has scored 30 or more points than Klay Thompson has. Now, I know points is not the end-all, be-all when it comes to who is a better player. But if these stats aren't telling, then I don't know what to tell you, because you plug in Klay Thompson as their shooting guard, I believe they might be above 500. They would be a good Western Conference team, probably hovering around the 8th seed, around where Phoenix is. But I don't see them being 30-14, having a better record than a few Eastern Conference teams as the Cavaliers. I see them around the same place at 24-20, where the Cavaliers are at best, with Klay Thompson as their shooting guard without James Harden. The fact is, Thompson's offensive ability is not yet to the level of a James Harden. He cannot create for himself on the level of James Harden. He is not the playmaker James Harden is. He cannot create foul attempts the way James Harden can. And that's fine, because Klay Thompson is a great player. And to be honest, I like Klay Thompson in his role as a second option better than I like James Harden in his as a first option, if that makes any sense. So basically, I would rather have another player that's better than Klay Thompson and have Klay Thompson as my second option than have a team built around James Harden. Because I still do not fully buy into Harden leading you to the promised land. He's a proven leader that he can lead a team, a good team, to the playoffs and possibly make some noise in the playoffs. We have yet to see the Rockets do so with him leading, but I think that will come in time, because Dwight Howard, he wasn't even 100% last year. In Portland, they just outplayed them in that series. And James Harden, he had a poor series. But like I said, Klay Thompson, I would rather have him as my second best player than Harden as my first. James Harden, he's improved his defense, but he's not the same player that Klay Thompson is on the defensive end. Klay Thompson is a much better shooter. But to go as far as to say Klay Thompson is the better shooting guard than James Harden, I think is a stretch, especially when statistics and logic tells you otherwise.